Dunne stars as an American girl who marries a British lord during World War I. Van Johnson co-stars in The White Cliffs of Dover. And now, here's Act One.
I have loved England dearly and deeply, since that first morning, shining and pure, the white cliffs of Dover I saw rising steeply out of the sea that once made her secure. I have loved England, and still as a stranger, here is my home, and I still am alone. One moment. Come in.
I brought you a cup of tea. I thought it might be welcome.
It is. Very. You really are an angel, Margaret. Thank you. What time is it?
Just on 4 a.m.
Really? Sit down, Margaret.
Why don't you take your cap off and lie down for a while?
We were told to stand by. There must be some very good reason. Helps to be doing something.
You're worried.
Who isn't nowadays?
I thought your son was to spend the week with you.
He phoned to say his leave had been canceled. I haven't heard anything since. It's been 5 days now. I'm terribly worried.
So when we were told to stand by for emergency, you made up your mind he'd be in the thick of it.
Yes, Margaret, I'm afraid I did.
Well, you can't be wrong, you know. I hope you are. Do try and rest.
.435.
0435. Both motors cut.
Sit down, will you? This is extremely confidential, Susan. I've been notified by the Surgeon General to prepare for casualties within 24 hours. He anticipates a possible 5,000.
So many.
Matron tells me we can take 300 here. Can you have that number of extra beds ready?
If you allow us to use the corridors, yes.
Yes, of course you may. I've had a talk with Matron, too, about nursing and surgical facilities. Will you see that your staff thoroughly understands what will be expected of them?
Certainly.
Thank you. That'll be all.
I suppose I mustn't ask questions.
My dear, your guess is as good as mine. Obviously a big show somewhere.
Invasion?
Oh, hardly. A raid on the French coast, perhaps. On a big scale, by the sound of it.
Is that...
They usually start at dawn.
It's been a long day, Margaret. I never could have managed without you.
You sure you won't let me get you something to eat? You haven't had very much today. Shall I open the window? It seems a bit warm in here.
All right. Strange, isn't it, Margaret? The way one's mind races about. When one's happy, when life's going along in its normal, peaceful way, I don't suppose we think very much. Very deeply, anyway. But in times like these, we think, we wonder. All sorts of thoughts have been going through my head all day.
I know.
When I first came from America to England as a girl, I was only going to stay 2 weeks. And I've spent my whole life here. My whole life. And I have a son out there, somewhere. A life is really a very, very long time, Margaret. When you look back to when you were young. Of course, you wouldn't know that.
I will soon.
Good night, Margaret.
Good night.
A very, very long time. Strange to look back to the days so long ago, the green sea and the purple haze, and then, far off and low, England. I watched the long day start on that gray shore, a young girl with an open heart at England's door. I had no thought then of husband or lover. I was a traveler, the guest of a week. Yet when they pointed the white cliffs of Dover, startled, I found there were tears on my cheek.
Sue, there are tears in your eyes.
Oh, are they? It's just that I'm so thrilled. I've never traveled before. It's so wonderful to see the things you've read about. That coast is full of history, our history. We're always set out from here to find a new world called Virginia. And so did the Mayflower, with those English rebels to find a New England. I suppose I sound like a schoolmarm. But that's our background, that little green island. Her past belongs to us, her history and her glory. The Magna Carta's ours, and Milton, and Shakespeare. You think I'm an idiot spilling over like this?
I think you're wonderful. I'm crazy about you, Sue. I haven't got a lot to offer, but it's a good farm. It's Dad's, of course, but it'll be mine someday. That's why I'm going to Scotland to buy cattle, improve the strain. I'm looking for a bull and some good heifers. Gonna bring them back with me. In the hole, of course. Oh, gosh, I say dumb things. I'm not like this all the time. It's just that I'm trying to make a good impression on you.
But you hardly know me, Sam. Don't you think...
Oh, I know it's kind of sudden, but if you just think about it, I won't see you in London.
Father, you stayed up after all.
Yes, I got talking at the bar. Where is this England I hear so much about?
There she is.
Doesn't look much bigger than Martha's Vineyard to me. Always rains in England. That's what they say.
Goodbye, Sue. I've got to catch my train.
Goodbye, Sam.
You don't mind if I write?
Of course not. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Mr. Dunne.
Oh, goodbye, my boy.
Goodbye.
Immigration, sir.
Yes.
Can I have your name, please?
Hiram P. Dunne.
The P is for...
Porter, that's my mother's maiden name, since you're so interested.
Thank you, sir. Your age, please.
53.
Occupation?
I'm the publisher of the Tulliver Sun. That's a daily newspaper.
How long do you propose to stay in England?
From April 2nd, 1914 until April 16th, 1914. That's exactly 2 weeks.
You've got adequate means of subsistence for this period?
Well, now, let me see. I have with me 75 pounds in cash and a letter of credit on the Security Trust Company of Providence, Rhode Island. My bank balance in the Tulliver National Bank is $1,742.07. I have 3 bonds in Tulliver Utilities, par value $3,000. 3 bonds in Union Pacific Railroad 5s, 1932, and 100 shares of United States Steel Preferred.
Really, Mr. Dunne, this is hardly necessary.
I have a fully paid-up policy that will give me $60 weekly at the age of 65. Anything else? What did I tell you? It'll be like this the whole time we're in England. Suffering cats. Oh, there's no use making faces at me, Susan. The lady wants the window open. She likes cold air. It's a national characteristic. It doesn't matter if you and I here are frozen to the bone. It doesn't matter if my lumbago gets to start up all over again. No, sir. Give an Englishman a window and by heaven he's going to open it. Might be he'll find a nice icy draft outside. Susan, you better go down to your dinner. This food is bad enough when it's hot. Did you find out what time the boat train leaves?
Yes. 10 a.m. Are you sure you'll be able to travel tomorrow?
No, I'm going to get out of this if they have to carry me on board on a stretcher. And Sue, when we get back home, don't you ever dare give me another boiled potato. And what in heaven's name is that?
It's suet pudding. You put syrup on it and eat it for dessert.
Do they eat it?
I've seen them.
What a people. You gotta hand it to them. They've certainly got intestinal fortitude. Oh, no, please. Take this stuff out of my sight. What an article I'm going to write for the paper when I get home on my trip to England.
Mean to tell me you came 3,000 miles to spend 2 weeks in a bedroom of the Bloomsbury boarding house?
Well, I'm afraid so.
My dear child, you must stay over. You must see something of England.
I've seen a good deal of London. I've seen the British Museum and the National Portrait Gallery and...
Great heavens. No, thank you. No, thank you. British Museum, eh? You saw the mummies, eh? Have been to any shows, any dances?
No.
Speaking of dances, I'm afraid I can't play cards tonight. It's the night of Millicent Waverley's ball, and I thought I'd like to go this time. I hear the King and Queen are going.
Really? No. Have you received your invitation, Colonel?
No, by Jove, I haven't. Oh, I must give Millicent a ring. Do you care to come to that shindig with me tonight? I don't know whether that sort of thing interests you, but everybody will be there from the King down.
Oh, I'd adore it, if Father doesn't mind.
Shall I ask him?
Would you? He'd love to see someone. He's been so lonesome.
That's so. Does he play cards?
No, not much. But he loves chess.
Does he? Ha-ha, I used to be pretty good at that. And I've got some chessmen here, too. A sort of heirloom. Very well, then I'll venture in, eh?
All right.
May I be excused?
Isn't that wonderful? A real ball? Oh, it's so different, so English. It's like a Victorian novel come to life. Well, I won't mind going home now. I shall really have seen something.
If I were you, my dear, I wouldn't count on it too much.
I don't understand.
Well, he's a very old man. He has his fancies. He's been with me for 8 years, and every year he tells me he's going to this ball.
Perhaps you don't know, dear, but the Duchess of Waverley is the most exclusive hostess in London.
Oh, I hope you're not disappointed.
I'm dreadfully disappointed. If you'll excuse me, I'll see if my father wants anything.
Of course, my dear. And you'll be busy with your packing.
Too bad. Such a nice little thing, not a bit like an American. No.
Not entirely new. No? No, if I'm not mistaken, Blackburn introduced that variation in the Hastings tournament in '95.
Blackburn?
The British chess master.
Oh, no, you're wrong there, Colonel. Pillsbury introduced that move.
Are you sure? Pillsbury?
Positive. Paris, 1900.
Oh, Pillsbury. Paris?
That's right. You can bet your bottom dollar on it.
Father, don't be so cocksure. It's hardly raining now. I think I'll go out and look at the shops.
Here, do that, dear.
Good idea. Get yourself a new bonnet.
Have a nice time, you two. And don't get into any arguments.
Charming girl.
Yeah.
It's refreshing to see someone young around.
These are very interesting pieces, Colonel. Where did you pick them up?
Well, a family heirloom.
Ah.
Yes, these pieces are over 100 years old.
Really?
Well, now, to follow up the Blackburn variation.
Pillsbury, the American master. Pillsbury in Paris, 1900.
Your daughter said we were not to argue. Otherwise...
Otherwise what?
I should point out that this surprise move of the pawn is typically Blackburn.
Blackburn is not the only chess player who can push a pawn around.
Well, perhaps we'd better get on with the game.
Yes, perhaps we had. Though your position doesn't look any too good.
Huh. That remains to be seen.
Well, it's your move. I'll prove it to you later.
Prove? What?
That this variation was introduced by Pillsbury in Paris.
Oh, to the devil with Pillsbury in Paris.
Well, credit where credit is due, that's all.
Exactly, and I'm quite positive the move originated in the Hastings tournament in '95.
By Blackburn, eh?
By Blackburn, certainly.
The British chess master.
Quite.
Pillsbury was the chess master of America.
I'm quite aware of that, Mr. Dunne.
You're darn tootin' you're aware of it.
What do you mean?
Well, you're saying that the British master was superior to the American master. That's what you're saying?
Nothing of the sort. It's a question of fact.
Harry Nelson Pillsbury could play rings around any English master any time. English haven't the knack for chess.
But the Americans have, you mean?
That's right. Chess calls for ingenuity, enterprise, and skill.
Qualities which the English do not possess, you mean? Well, I go too far, sir.
No. Hold your horses.
I interest you to have a look at this board in which we're playing. Dolly Madison, President Madison's wife.
Where did you get this?
My grandfather picked it up in 1812.
1812?
When 6,000 British soldiers, lacking in skill and enterprise, captured the city of Washington, the capital of the United States.
How did your grandfather get hold of this chess set?
By the simple act of taking it. He was dining in the mansion from which your president had fled, in some haste.
You mean he stole it?
My grandfather was Flag Lieutenant under Admiral Cohen. The president's dinner was cooked and ready to serve The Admiral and my grandfather ate it.
This is stolen property.
Milk spoils of victory, sir. Robbery. Plain robbery.
Father, please.
Why didn't you stay to protect your property?
Didn't figure you fellas would steal it.
Father, the Colonel's your guest.
You ran like hares, sir. The roads were littered with the guns your men dropped as they ran.
Well, now, Colonel, probably we were just hurrying ourselves down to New Orleans.
What? A deucedly disorderly route, sir.
It seems to me, Colonel, that we won that war somewhere down around New Orleans. I think I'll just take this board in the name of the United States government.
Keep your hands off my property, you Yankee rebel.
Yankee rebel! You hear that, Sue? Why, for 2 cents, you're a receiver of stolen property. Ruffian, robber,
Please don't.
barbarian, thief.
Father, you must apologize.
Well, I've...
Oh. Father.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sue.
The McDowell home in Southfield is 128 years old. What a challenge. First, insulated backer, then Belvedere double-4 aluminum siding. And here's the finished job. Before, after.
Miss McDonald, how do you like your job now?
It's beautiful.
If we can do this to a home 128 years old, can you imagine what we can do to your home? Call now. Tyler, 87100.
Save! Save! Go ahead, make your day. Save during the holiday savings sale at Waterbed Gallery. Featuring savings everywhere. Get instant credit up to $1,500. With no money down. Save on our entire inventory of waterbeds and bedroom furniture. Save on every soft side waterbed system. Save on the motionless mattress of your choice. Firm to ultra firm, they're all reduced. Save on hundreds of waterbed sheets and comforters now. At Waterbed Gallery's holiday savings sale. Featuring no money down and instant credit to qualified buyers.
Gear up and ride with P&P Ride. We'll put the power beneath your seat.
It's time to gear up and ride the P&P Cycle. Home of the 96-cent spark plug every day. Michigan's largest in apparel, parts, and accessories. You'll ride with confidence when it's backed by the P&P guarantee. Plus, you can win an all-expense-paid trip every month with P&P's Getaway Giveaway. Enter today at any of the 4 P&P locations.
Call Great Lakes Reupholstery at 961-3310 for the best reupholstery prices in town. Just listen to this. Sofas from $279. That's right, $279. Chairs from $179. Kitchen and dining room chairs from $29.95. Great Lakes Reupholstery also has a special 10% discount for senior citizens. Call 961-3310. That's right, 961-3310 for the best reupholstery prices in town.
What are you doing? You've been racing up and down those stairs for the last hour.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mum. The Colonel rang.
Well, what does he want?
He wanted me to take a note to Mr. Dunne, Mum. They'd had a quarrel.
A quarrel?
And then Mr. Dunne rang for me to carry an answer to the Colonel. He said he wouldn't take back a word, Mum, but as long as the Colonel apologized...
That'll do, Gwenny. We don't discuss our guests.
And then I was helping Miss Dunne to dress, Mum. She looks ever so pretty. The Colonel's taking her to the ball.
Oh, you don't mean to say so.
Gwenny, wait. Is the Colonel dressing? Oh, yes, Mum. I had to take his shoes up clean special. White tie and tails, Mum, and a ribbon around his neck. Can it be true?
The Duchess of Waverly.
The Duchess of Waverly's motor for Colonel Forsyth.
Yes, sir. I'll tell him. Don't stand there gaping, girl. Run up and tell the Colonel. Yes. Here they come now. The Duchess has sent her motor car.
She said she would.
Oh, my dear, you look charming. Thank you.
Indeed she does. Ah, I'm a proud man tonight.
Isn't it wonderful? I'm so thrilled. Have a good time. Thank you so much. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
gives quite a turn to the house, doesn't it? One of our boarders gone off to see the king.
Why, Walter, this is nice. You've been neglecting me.
No. Miss Susan Dunne of the United States.
My dear, I'm so glad you could come.
That'd be nice.
Nothing less would have brought this old bear out. See that he finds you some acceptable partner.
Thank you. Is that the Order of the Garter? Instituted by Edward III in the year 1348.
Oh, right, I believe.
Are the king and queen here?
No, they always come last.
Oh.
But there's a prime minister over there.
Where?
Right by the orchestra.
Oh.
And he's talking to your ambassador, by Jove.
Oh. That makes me feel lots better.
Better?
Braver, not so mousy.
Oh, young lady, I'm the one that's got to call upon his courage. May I have the audacity?
Uh-huh. It will be a very great pleasure.
Time of my life. Oh, dear. I haven't enjoyed myself so much for years. Now, you must have your reward. I'm going to get you a delightful partner to dance with. How do you like them? Dark, fair, bashful, dashing? I'm going to be hard to please. I'll be back in a moment with a lucky youngster. Don't let anyone run off with you. John, my boy. Oh, well met. The very man I'm looking for.
Glad to see you, sir. It's been ages.
I've bought a girl. Charming girl. Promise her a topping partner, and you fill the bill.
I'm sorry, sir. The fact
A
is, I...
delightful child. You'll bless me.
Yes, I'm sure I should. I know your taste. The fact is, I have a sort of an appointment. Bertie's cousin from Australia. She's a girl I've never seen, but he's going to be late, and I promised to take care of her.
She's in a poke, eh? That's too bad. How are you going to find her if you've never seen her?
Well, I'm to wait for her in the Adam room. Of course, it's early yet, but, oh, I'd like to get there before she does.
In the Adam room, eh? Do you know where the Adam room is?
No, I haven't any idea.
Come along, I'll show you. See those double doors in the corner? That's what you're looking for.
Oh, thanks. I'm sorry I can't oblige, but duty must be done.
That's all right. Good hunting.
Bertie's cousin, Nancy. I'm John Ashford. Hope I haven't kept you waiting.
No, not at all.
Well, I came early. I thought I'd be here first. I know it's awful to be hanging about when you don't know anyone.
Yes, it is, isn't it? I suppose the colonel sent you.
No, Bertie sent me. He told me to tell you that he'd be late. He's detained at the Foreign Office. A weekly crisis, I suppose. He said you went to wait supper for him. As a matter of fact, he said you were to try and behave as if I were he. Do you think you can?
Well, I'm sure of it quite easily, but you see, I'm afraid...
I hear this is your first visit to England.
Yes, it is.
And you're not staying very long.
No, indeed, not long at all.
Well, we must make the most of it, mustn't we? May I have the pleasure of this dance?
I should love it.
This is my favorite waltz?
Mine, too.
This is a stroke of luck meeting you like this. The joke is I didn't want to come. Had a regimental dinner and told old Bertie he was no end of a nuisance. Can you imagine? I might have missed you.
Oh, what a pity, right in the middle.
It's the king and queen.
Oh, I'd forgotten.
Their Majesties, the King and Queen.
Mercy, they're coming right towards us. What shall I do?
Just curtsy.
Like this?
No, the usual thing. I forgot you're an Australian. Well, put one foot back and bend the knee, you know?
Which one?
Right foot, left knee.
Bravo.
You must think I'm terribly awkward. But we don't do that sort of thing back home.
You haven't been presented at court?
Oh, good gracious, no. I know lots of Americans are, but I'm just a small town girl.
But Bertie said you were Australian.
Oh, of course. In all the excitement, I forgot. I'm not Nancy. I'm not Bertie's Australian cousin. I'm an imposter.
Good heavens. I say, are you really? Who are you?
Oh, I'm nobody in particular. I come from a little town called Tulliver, in the smallest state in the USA.
Well, why didn't you tell me?
You didn't give me much time. Besides, I sort of wanted to dance with you.
Did you? I say that's splendid. I say that's splendid. Won't you?
I don't really belong here. An old gentleman from our boarding house brought me, in the kindness of his heart.
Not Colonel Forsyth.
Yes, do you know him?
He wanted me to meet you. I turned you down. Can you imagine? I say this is splendid. You living in London?
No, we're going home tomorrow.
But I just met you. You can't go home tomorrow. I can't allow it. You don't want to, do you?
No, I don't. But my father does. You see, it's rained every day, and besides, he's a bit prejudiced about London anyway.
What do you mean he doesn't like it?
Well, lots of people don't, you know. He had a fearful quarrel with the colonel about the War of 1812.
He didn't fight in 1812, did he?
That's the time you burned Washington.
I burned the general?
No, the city.
Oh, we burned it. Oh, what a pity. Well, no wonder people don't like us. I say, I apologize on behalf of England.
I accept your apology.
I would like to talk to your father and get him to let you stay. Do you mean to say you've never been out of London?
I've really not seen much of London. I've never seen London at night.
We have the night before it.
Yes, my last night in England.
Wait here. I'm going to find the colonel and tell him I'm taking you home. I say, don't you go running off again with the first man who asks you.
city in the world.
No, New York is that. Isn't it?
If you say so.
You're nice. I wish my father could meet you. He thinks English people are hard to get along with.
Well, you do have to know them. But we're doing very well, aren't we?
You did get a bit uppity when I said I thought titles were silly.
Did what?
Uppity. You know, on your high horse.
Oh, not uppity. No, I was scared.
Scared of what?
Guilty conscience. You see, I have a title. I'm a baronet.
A baronet? What's that, a lord?
No, it's not quite so grand. Well, I'm Sir John Ashford.
This will be something to tell the girls back in Tulare. Oh.
May I?
Have you ever been to America?
Oh, yes, I was in Canada last year.
Well, it's not quite the same, you know. We're those queer colonists who wanted to be free.
Oh. Who's uppity now?
I'm sorry. Do you work for a living?
Yes, quite hard. I'm a captain in the King's Fusiliers. You know, if Bertie hadn't... Angels and ministers of grace defend us.
What's the matter?
I never gave it a thought until this moment.
Nancy.
I promised to take care of her. Bertie will never forgive me.
Oh, dear. What can we do?
Well, nothing. She can hardly be sitting waiting for me in the attic room at 3 o'clock in the morning.
No. It's all my fault. I'm awfully sorry.
Yeah, so am I. No, I'm not. You know, I feel an awful cad, but if it hadn't happened, I should never have met you.
How still it is. I never knew London could be so still.
When Wordsworth stood here, you could see green fields in the distance and tall old trees. Don't go back to America.
I must.
There's so much to see. Let me show you England. We'll drive down Roman roads where Caesar's legions marched and follow Chaucer's steps to Canterbury. I'll show you the Isle of Avalon where King Arthur died and the Holy Grail is buried. Beautiful places. Old places. Little villages that were standing in the Wars of the Roses. And jolly places, you know. There's a moat at Wells where the swans swim and ring a bell for their dinner when they're hungry. I say you're crying.
No, I'm not. Oh, how stupid you are. I don't want to go back, and you're making it worse.
I'm a hopeless idiot. I ought to be kicked. I ought to go and hang myself.
Oh, no, don't do that. It was just that last bit about the swans that got me. Do they really do that?
Oh, yes, they do. I've seen them. There's a little house, and they all...
Don't tell me anymore. Not another word. I have to go back to America. Back to the boarding house now. Listen. There's Big Ben.
I thought you minded as much as I do.
Oh, I do mind. I dropped tears all over my packing. Now I'll mind even... I mean, it's been a wonderful night. When I think of England, I shall always think of you. A bit set in her ways, a bit sure of herself, but nice. Very, very nice.
And will you think often of England?
I'm afraid I shall.
Miss Dunne.
Please don't say it. I must go now. See the milkman. Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, England.
New York's #1 comedy is now America's favorite comedy, Steel Magnolias, starring stage and screen great Barbara Rush and acclaimed television star Marion Ross. People magazine calls it a comedy smash. Rex Reed cheers hilarious. Steel Magnolias now in its 3rd smash here in New York and a hit from coast to coast. As Liz Smith says, it's the treat of the theater season. Don't miss Barbara Rush and Marion Ross in Steel Magnolias.
WJBK special matinee Wednesday, May 31st and Thursday, June 1st. All seats just $13.50.
Homeowners, stop painting your house and throw your paintbrushes away. Every time you go up a ladder, say to yourself, is this trip necessary? Let us come out and show you the latest in beautiful aluminum and vinyl siding, and at the same time, on the same bill, you can include replacement windows, gutters, doors, porches, and awnings. Call us now, and we'll end your paint blobs forever. The number, Tyler 87100, and say, bye-bye paintbrush. Who needs it?
You want to know secret? Fashion for Less now has 2 stores where everything is under $30. Come on in.
You'll find that perfect Sunday dress at Fashions for Less, where everything in the store is under $30. We've got sizes and fashions to fit petite sizes to a tremendous selection for the full-figured woman. Fashions for Less, 9149 Joseph Campo, at our newest location in the Cherry Hill Plaza at Cherry Hill and Inkster Roads. Fashions for Less.
Long ago, Michigan carved out of wilderness a place in history, leading industries like lumber, mining, and steel, then furniture and food products. The world had never seen a greater concentration of manufacturing know-how. Today, that know-how has made us the International Center for Advanced Manufacturing. We're not only carving a whole new place in the highest technologies, we're making the future happen here, now.
Mr. Dunne?
Mr. Dunne? Yes, sir. That is, he's leaving in a minute, sir.
Yes, I know. I wonder if he could spare me one moment. Tell him Sir John Ashwood, please.
Sir John?
Ashwood.
Oh, yes, sir. Step in, sir. A gentleman to see you, sir.
Good morning, Miss Dunne. Good morning, sir. I know this is an inopportune moment. I hope you'll forgive me.
Father, this is Sir John Ashwood, who brought me home last night.
Oh, well, I'm glad to meet you. I'm sorry we haven't much time. Fact is, we're a bit rushed. Our train leaves at 10 o'clock.
I've come in the hope that I can persuade you to miss it.
What was that?
I hope your lumbago's better, sir.
Yes, well, it will be when I get away from this eternal rain.
It's pretty bad, isn't it? But we seem to be in for a spell of fine weather.
Oh, are we? Well, it's about time.
Right you are, sir. Mr. Dunne, my mother lives in Devon, and at any moment she may call you on the phone. My mother would be delighted if you and Miss Dunne could spend a week or 2 with us and see some typical English country life.
Oh, hold on there. Well, that's out of the question. Good heavens, man, we're practically on the train. Besides, we don't know your mother, and she doesn't know us. What is it, Granny?
Please, sir, can the man take the trunk down?
Oh, yes, come in. You see, sir, I run a newspaper, and I have to get back to it.
Yes, of course. I suppose it wouldn't be possible for Miss Dunne to remain behind alone?
What? What's that?
Oh, my mother would take the greatest care of her, sir.
The cab's here, sir.
Oh, well, tell him we'll be right down.
Can I take the suitcase, sir?
Yes, you can take this one. Now, you see, we're going. Now, come on, Susie.
Allow me, sir.
Oh, thank you.
About Miss Dunne, sir, I'm sure you'd like her to have a little pleasure.
Oh, yes. Well,
I'll put her on a later boat myself. Miss Dunne has such a fine historical sense, so it seems a pity that she should be denied the advantage of travel.
Susan, have you a half-crown? This infernal money. Every civilized nation in the world has the decimal system, but England has to still cling to an antiquated...
Right you are, sir, but that makes for a certain amount of interest, doesn't it?
You still here?
I mean the little differences, you know.
What do you want? Good heavens, man, I can't leave my daughter behind in a strange country. Come on, Susan, we'll miss our train.
It's for you, Mr. Dunne.
What is it?
Lady Jean Ashwood.
Oh, well, tell her we've gone.
My mother, sir.
It's a trunk call.
But I haven't time to talk to her, and it wouldn't do any good anyhow. Well, Susan, don't stand there like a wooden Indian. Say something. Tell this obstinate young man that you can't stay, that you don't want to stay.
But I do, Father.
What?
I want to very much.
You see, sir.
You keep out of this. You mean you'd have me go home alone?
Would you mind very much? I'm holding the line, Mr.
Well,
Dunne.
of all the unfeeling...
Just a week.
Just a week, darling. I'll take the next
We
boat.
take good care of her, sir.
You...
Yes, sir. Telephone, Mr. Dunne.
Oh!
I
Holy mackerel! The cab, the phone, my daughter, my love. There you go. Oh, hello! Hello! Dunne speaking. Hiram P. Dunne.
I expect you'd like to go to your room, Miss Dunne. You must be tired after your long drive.
Thank you, but honestly, I'm too excited to be tired.
Really? That's charming of you. Then perhaps you'd like to see the gardens first. They look lovely at this hour.
Yes, I would, Lady Jean.
Suppose you take Miss Dunne for a little stroll, John.
Yes, it's a splendid idea.
It's so nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Come on, Susan.
I'll let you know when tea's ready.
We're rather proud of our lawn. Very old, you know.
Not bad, hey, the girl?
Very attractive.
Oh, worried old lady?
I'm rather bewildered.
That looks serious. An old stick in the mud like John meets a girl for the first time last night and brings her home to the family.
I thought there was some sort of an understanding between John and the Hampton girl.
Well, Helen, she's mad about old John. Always has been.
I'm worried about Helen. Not that John is in any way committed. But I'm afraid Helen's taking things too much for granted.
You're fond of Helen, aren't you?
She's a sweet girl. And she's right for John.
Oh, by the by, I'm going over to the Hamptons. I'll tell Helen that John's coming home and ask her to dinner. Might be amusing.
You know, it's odd. John's like you. He's straight and good. My precious husband's an out-and-out rotter.
Thank you.
He's unscrupulous and he's cruel. But you love him best, don't you? I have no favorites. Reggie is like his father. I adored his father. Oh, Miller, will you tell Sir John and Miss Dunne the tea is ready?
Yes, I spent days in that manor house in Devon. I roamed with John beneath the old gray trees, in gardens trampled down by Cromwell's armies, through foliage rustling in the wet south breeze. John showed with pride the ancient leaded casement that watched the proud armada pass the coast, some of the pictured forebears in the gallery, and told the legend of the family ghost.
Well, here are the ancestors. Awful lot of them, aren't there?
I thought they looked more solemn somehow, more...
Well, you see, they didn't know they were ancestors. They just mixed in with whatever was going on.
Tell me about them.
Really?
Really.
All right. But don't forget you brought it on yourself. The most noble knight, Percy Ashwood of Ash, 1233 to 1265. It's probably painted some centuries later. Percy was killed at the Battle of Evesham. And this is his wife, the First Lady Ashwood. We're indebted to her for the family ghost.
The family ghost? No. Tell me about it.
Well, rumors of the battle had reached her, and as night fell, she heard the sound of galloping hoofs. She came out onto the steps with her ladies and waited in the light of torches, hoping perhaps that her husband was returning. But a faithful retainer of the family rode up, his face white as wax and his voice hollow as he gave the fatal tidings. And even while this was happening, according to the legend, peasants were fishing his body out of the river. He'd been drowned fording the stream more than an hour before.
It was a ghostly messenger?
Riding a ghostly horse.
Oh, John, it's wonderful. And does the ghost still ride?
Yes, so they say. Whenever a male of the clan is gathered to his ancestors, the women of the family hear the hoofbeats of the messenger as he rides down the old Roman road.
Do you believe it?
Oh, I can't say that I do. I've a suspicion my mother does, though, and she's a level-headed woman. Anyway, she doesn't like to hear anyone laugh at the story. This is the ancestral black sheep. He guessed wrong in the War of the Roses and was executed for treason. Well, I'm worn out. Aren't you fed up with it?
Not a bit. It's most exciting. Oh.
Yes, this gorgeous officer is the present baronet and your humble son.
How is it you weren't called Percy?
Well, the eldest son's always called Percy. I had an elder brother who died as a child.
Here, my wife's portrait will hang.
You must have often wondered what she'd be like.
Yes, I have. Until a few days ago. And then I began to hope that she'd be all tall and fair, with a mind of her own. And that when my great-grandson showed visitors a portrait, he'd say, "This is my great-grandmother. Lovely, isn't she? She was an American." Must have known. I've been out of my mind since I first saw you in the Adam room. I meant to wait, give you more time, but it's out now. Don't say no, Sue. If you can't, give me the right answer. Pretend I haven't spoken.
May I do that, John, for these few days? I don't want to make decisions. I just want to live and be happy.
You are happy, Sue. Happy here.
When we're together, yes. When we're alone.
What does that mean?
Please don't ask me. It's just that, well, it's all so strange. This place, your family.
Sue. Here, Mother.
Oh, there you are. Is that Miss Dunne? Yes, of course it is. Helen's going to sing, John, dear. I thought perhaps you'd like to come down.
Well, of course. Be with you in a jiffy.
Flow gently, sweet as time. Disturb not her dream. Thou dark dove whose echo resounds from the hill, ye wild whistling blackbirds in yon thorny dell. Thou green-crested lapwing, thou screaming forbear, I charge you, disturb not my slumbering fair.
Thank you, my dear. That's a favorite of mine.
Yeah, very nice. Now, how about a rubber bridge, huh?
Oh, Rupert, it's after 10.
Is it?
Shall we go out into the terrace? It's mild and it's moon.
John, Helen must go home now.
Oh, Mother can send for me.
No, John wouldn't hear of it.
Certainly not. I shan't be long. It's just across the park.
Come and see us one day, Miss Dunne. Perhaps John will bring you to tea. Do please come, won't you? I should love it.
Come on, Newton.
Good night, Lady Jean.
Good night, my dear.
Good night, all.
Good night. Good night.
It's serious between those two?
Well, it's one of those things. Boy and girl sweethearts, parents' blessing. Yes, I suppose they're for it. They're a nice couple.
You know, I should never have taken you for an American, Miss Dunne.
No?
Well, you don't speak like one. American women are so smart and pretty, but their voices...
I've no doubt our voices sound equally strange to Americans.
Yes. Enjoy London, Miss Dunne?
Very much.
You stayed at the Savoy, I suppose, huh? Americans always stay at the Savoy.
No, we didn't stay at the Savoy. We stayed at Mrs. Bland's boarding house in Bloomsbury.
Bloomsbury?
What is it, Nanny?
It's a telegram for the young lady. Michael Murphy had to get out of his warm bed to bring it along. It's from the ship, he says. The young lady's father.
May I?
Of course, my dear. I think some people would say what they have to say. Well, there's plenty to say, if you ask me.
Nanny.
Yes, my lady.
Thank you, Nanny.
Foreign ways. Foreign ways.
You must excuse Nanny. She's brought up all my children, so she thinks she has the right to bully us.
Better get Helen and John married and keep her busy with the new generation. I hope your father's recovered from our climate.
I suppose you'll find our houses cold. I suffocated in New York. Don't know how you stand it. Great city, though, when you get used to it. Yes, I met some quite nice people there.
You speak as though that were rather surprising.
Well, I must admit I'd only met the traveling American. And the traveling American, you know. Remember those dreadful people we bumped into in Rome, my dear?
But Miss Dunne isn't a bit like an American.
You don't mean to be rude, do you? No, of course not. Why, whatever can...
On the contrary, it was intended as a compliment.
But sooner or later you all say something of the kind. So you're an American, Miss Dunne. Really, you don't speak like one. So you're an American, Miss Dunne. Really, you don't act like one.
My dear, my sister had no intention of offending you.
Just the same, it was tactless, utterly tactless.
Upon my word.
It's a compliment not to be like an American. How insulting. A compliment not to speak like an American. I suppose if you wanted to be altogether flattering, you'd say I was quite English. Well, I shouldn't be flattered at all. I'm glad and proud to be an American.
Bravo, bravo.
I came here loving England and all it meant to me. I was happy to come here. I was so sure I'd like you all because of John. I hoped you'd like me.
My dear.
But I was an outsider. I didn't belong. You made that perfectly clear. Well, it may interest you to know my father's entirely of your opinion. Perhaps I should read you his cable. Been pacing deck and cursing myself for leaving you in the hands of that Englishman.
Upon my word.
You come right home, my girl, without foreign entanglements. Marry a regular, warm-hearted American. You're a Yankee through and through. Never forget it. Think of Paul Revere. Think of the old North steeple. Remember the Alabama. This is a mighty expensive message, and that will show you I'm scared stiff. I am your devoted father. Neither you nor my father need have any anxiety.
Miss Dunne, wait.
Oh, I'm so terribly sorry I started all this. I had no intention of hurting you.
Won't you put it down to my stupidity and forgive me? Susan. May I call you Susan?
I've been hoping you would.
I want you to understand that if there's been anything in my manner to hurt you, it's been nothing to do with John. It's just that, well, perhaps we express ourselves a little differently.
Perhaps we do, too.
The English are anything but effusive. The Scots are worse. And I'm a Scot, you know. So if I've hurt you, my dear, it was in my manner, not in my heart. Please understand that.
I'm sorry. I'm so ashamed of myself, really. Here, I've made a stupid scene. I guess I'm just a little homesick, that's all. I hope you'll forgive me. Will you tell John that I have a headache, that I've gone to bed?
I'll tell him. Good night, Susan.
Good night. A boat train rattling through the green countryside, a girl within it battling with her tears and pride, believing in her blindness that she was heart whole yet. His love, his laugh, his kindness, in time, she could forget.
Washington, miss?
Yes, please.
Nice, steady boat.
Yes, I came over on it. John, you shouldn't have come all this long way. I was afraid you'd want to see me off. That's why I ran off and left a note.
I've not come to see you off, Susan. I've come to take you home.
Home?
To Ashwood.
I don't know what you're talking about. Take my things onto the boat, please. I'll give you my ticket.
Never mind the ticket. The London train on platform 2. You'll find a carriage reserved under the name of Ashwood.
No, please. You're to take the luggage onto the boat.
The London train.
John, this is ridiculous. I was awake all night thinking things over, and I've made up my mind.
Shall we...
I'm not at home in that great place. It scares me. I live in a little house in a little town. I'm used to simple, friendly people who don't give a hoot about family and tradition.
Yes, but
I'd be homesick. I'd get a terrible longing for our green mountains, for Daddy and his tempers, for everything American, hot dogs, flapjacks. And your family doesn't like me. They resent me. Your mother wants you to marry Helen. Helen's in love with you, John. Helen fits in. She's pretty and conventional and good. I'm not. I'm stubborn. I'm an American right through. I'm not adaptable. I'm a rebel.
Yes, but
oh,
Sue,
I do love you, John. I can't deny it. I remember you the last day of my life. Only I could never be happy. I could never make you happy. Don't make it harder for me. This is taking courage, John, darling. It must be goodbye.
How would you like to be married at the American Embassy? I have a cousin married to one of the attaches. She's an awfully jolly girl. You like her. Or would you like a country wedding? Mother thought you might. She sends you all sorts of kind messages. She's going to move to the Dower House. Says young couples should have their homes to themselves. You know, I've been wondering about the honeymoon. Well, you've never been to the London Theatre, have you? Just imagine. Thank you.
John.
All right,
John. John.
No, let me out of here. I've cabled my father. He's meeting me in New York. Let me out of here.
I brought a lunch basket, some cold chicken, and a bottle of wine, and some of cooked patties. I've been eating them since I was so high.
Stupid, arrogant, pig-headed Englishman.
Why don't
Let
you
me out.
take your hat off, darling, and sit down and lean back comfortably. Sue, you obstinate little thief. Sue.
I have the honor to propose a toast to our hostess, to Lady Ashwood. Oh, no, excuse me, to Lady Jean Ashwood. Lady Ashwood, that's my daughter. Little Sue Dunne, gone high and mighty on us. I don't mind telling you that it was a bit of a shock to me when I heard the news back in Tullamore. And I hustled right back to England to see what I could do about it. But the Scotch know a good thing when they see it.
Yeah.
And maybe my daughter knows a good thing, too. Well, now I'm going back to America alone. Having lost my daughter to the British, I had hoped to take back with me a certain piece of property also looted from the United States. From the White House, to be exact. But apparently, the gentleman in possession of this stolen item is devoid of a sense of shame. No, don't get me wrong. The English are fine. Of course, they think England is gosh almighty, but a people that's managed to collar 1/3 of the earth, my daughter, and a certain article from the White House is no small potatoes. And that brings me to my point. I raise my glass to a very charming lady. She's British, but I kind of like her.
Make a good job of it, girl.
I mean to.
Bless you both. I'm very happy for you.
Bye, Father. Take care. Bye.
Call Great Lakes Reupholstery at 961-3310 for the best reupholstery prices in town. Just listen to this. Sofas from $279. That's right, $279. Chairs from $179. Kitchen and dining room chairs from $29.95. Great Lakes Reupholstery also has a special 10% discount for senior citizens. Call 961-3310. That's right, 961-3310 for the best reupholstery prices in town.
The McDowell home in Southfield is 128 years old. What a challenge. First, insulated backer, then Belvedere double-4 aluminum siding. And here's the finished job. Before, after. Miss McDonald, how do you like your job now?
It's beautiful.
If we can do this to a home 128 years old, can you imagine what we can do to your home? Call now. Tyler, 87100.
Gear up and ride with P&P Ride. We'll put the power beneath your seat.
It's time to gear up and ride to P&P Cycles, home of the 96-cent spark plug every day. Michigan's largest in apparel, parts, and accessories. You'll ride with confidence when it's backed by the P&P guarantee. Plus, you can win an all-expense-paid trip every month with P&P's Getaway Giveaway. Enter today at any of the 4 P&P locations.
Could your car use some improvements? Like a Z-Bart sunroof, Z-Bart fabric protection, window tinting, Z-Bart paint protection, no waxing ever, auto alarms. Z-Bart has dozens of improvements. Z-Bart improves trucks and vans, too, with running boards, bed liners, van racks, and more.
And I thought all Z-Bart did was rust protection.
Z-Bart, we're the car improvement specialists. Now get $100 off the Z-Bar Total Protection Package. Call your Z-Bar dealer.
Just like a friend you've known for years. Someone you can turn to.
Let me go in the beer.
Now we're here. That's great news. Come back to me now. Come back. Great news. Great news. Making a comeback is always great news.
Yacht ahoy! The Seafold! Who are you? Naval Patrol, heave to. Stand by to be taken in tow. Get your sails in. Aye, sir. We are bringing you in, mister. What's wrong? England is at war.
Place is a madhouse. I suppose everybody's trying to get home. By George, they're on their way to France already. I must find a telephone report to the adjutant.
You mean you think you might have to go at once?
We'll see that. Don't worry. Will you wait for me, darling? Hey, sit on this truck. I've done 2 minutes more.
I hear those Zeppelins carry enough bombs to blow them right out of the ocean.
Sue! Hey, Sue! Oh, what a stroke of luck. Oh, this is wonderful. I thought you'd gone back long ago. You're going on the boat, of course. Say, where's your father? Can I do anything to help?
Father's in America. No, I'm not going back, Sam. I'm staying in England.
Staying here with the war on?
Well, I got the
Sam.
adjutant. It's all right. I have to get up to town at once,
John, I want you to meet a friend of mine, Sam Bennett. This is my husband, Sam, Sir John Ashwood.
How do you do?
Oh, that was silly of me, wasn't it? Trying to rush you on board like that. Married, huh? Well, what do you know? Congratulations. Congratulations. Sue, I hope you'll be very happy. I hope you'll be as happy as all get out. Not in the Army, are you?
Well, as a matter of fact, I am. The adjutant tells me my regiment...
Soon, John.
I'm afraid Sue picked a bad moment to marry an Englishman.
I guess you picked a good man at that. But, well, it's too bad. All the luck in the world. Well, I guess I'm just in the way here. I better get going. Let me tell you how I feel.
Goodbye, Sam. I'll write to you.
Oh, gee. Thanks. Thanks. Oh, boy.
What about all this mail from the 3rd King's Fusiliers? Oh, been holding for weeks. So they? In a pot, aren't they?
John, dearest, it is nearly 3 weeks since your last letter came. No letter for your mother, either. Nothing from you. Nothing from Reggie. We know you must have written. You're so good about writing. And we try not to worry, to think of all the reasons there must be for the delay. Your mother is braver than I am, I'm afraid. A letter is a little piece of you. Without it, I feel so much alone. I miss you so. I hardly knew you, darling, before you went away. God keep you safe. I love you so.
Hello, David.
Hello, sir.
Reggie. Reggie.
Telephone line still out?
Yes.
Runner get back?
No.
We just hang on.
Those are the orders. Position must be held at all costs.
At all costs. Well, here's to the Lost Battalion.
I suppose they'll be coming in for the kill soon.
Take it easy, Davis.
Nothing? Nothing. It's been 5 weeks.
I don't think we should worry, Sue, dear. Remember last spring? We heard nothing for nearly 2 months.
But that stopped. You look tired. I didn't sleep very well. I know. I saw a light in your window. Were you awake? For a while. What time was it? About 4. What woke you? I don't know. I was dreaming, I think.
Sue, you're not more anxious than usual, are you?
Oh, why should I be? Don't worry, darling. We've been through all this before, and then we've gotten several letters all at one time.
You're a great comfort to me, Sue, dear. When I remember how badly we started.
Well, we know each other better now. If I could only see him. I love him so unreasonably.
I know, dear.
Sometimes I'm afraid if I lose him, I won't be able to remember. To hold on to all the things I loved in him. I'll lose him dead as I lost him living.
Sue, don't talk like that. You're killing him with words. John's coming home. Peace will come. You'll have years together.
Am I intruding?
No, Nanny. Come in.
I only wanted to show you this. It caught my eye this minute. Here, in this corner. Look. The government is to allow the wives of men who've not had leave since last autumn to go to France to meet them.
Let me see.
The first bit of sense they've shown them, blithering old idiots.
But if this is so...
And now you haven't an excuse in the world. Dear knows it's time you put a baby in my arms.
Oh, Nanny, really?
They have now completed all necessary arrangements. It's rather wonderful, isn't it?
Yes, we've got to look into it right away.
We'll telephone Uncle Henry at the War Office.
And take a word from me to Master John that I'm expecting him to do his duty and not be sending you back with things otherwise this time. Poor little mite, he'll be half a foreigner at best. And it's a queer sort of country that says it's too proud to fight.
What do you mean? You get out of here. Get out of here. You find out whether we're too proud to fight. Imagine the government having a heart. Of course, there'll be thousands of wives wanting to go, but how wonderful to have something to look forward to plan for.
To plan for. Are you crazy, man? Standing there with the door wide open with the draft blowing right up to the attic.
There's a telegraph, boy.
Here it is, sir.
Thanks, mate.
Fine morning.
Here's that.
For her? Maybe one of them was hurt.
Yes. Will you give it to her?
I must. Surely she'll not be called upon to...
I'll have to wait my turn, but it may not be too long. I must write John and tell him.
What is it, Nanny?
It's a telegram. Shall I read it to you?
No. Give it to me. It's not John. Not John. Reggie. He died heroically.
I'm so sorry. So sorry.
It's all right. Sue, you must go to John. You must go to John at once.
Oh, how good you are. How good you are.
And now, my dear, I think I'll go to my room.
The train's late, isn't it? When do you suppose it... It's signaled, isn't it? Thank you.
Hôtel Normandie. Je prends le bagage, hein?
Sue.
John.
Darling.
Hôtel Normandie.
Oh, you've changed. You're so thin.
Hôtel Normandie.
So happy.
Very good hotel. Many English.
Let me look at you. Oh, you're so beautiful, I'd forgotten. And what a lovely hat.
Hôtel Normandie. Prix très raisonnable. Cuisine excellente.
this is my batman, Jennings.
How do you do, Jennings? You must excuse me. I know my husband thinks the world of you.
Thank you, my lady.
Hôtel Normandie, sur la plage. Tarif très modéré, madame.
I'm sorry, I have rooms. Nous sommes au Principal. Je regrette.
Oh, moi aussi, madame. Infiniment. Hôtel Normandie.
You don't know how wonderful it is to be able to open my eyes and find you still there. You see, all these months I've had to close my eyes to see you. There you'd be in some crazy little hat. And then somebody would say, pardon me, sir, and I'd open my eyes and bang, you'd be gone. Oh, I know. None of that.
I can't help it. I've just got to brim over. It's so wonderful.
Well, you are here at last. Madame has been all impatience, but now...
Madame is all tears.
But of course, que voulez-vous? She is so happy.
Yeah. You like the room?
Perfect.
Oh, it's the band. Come and see the view.
Oh, what gorgeous weather. More like June than April.
Isn't that a cute little bandstand?
Cute little bandmaster.
It's a mustache that gets me.
Look here, you're going to cry the whole time I'm here.
I think so.
Thanks. Merci.
Merci, monsieur.
Jennings, go and amuse yourself. I don't want to see you again.
Very good, sir.
Sure, my darling. I simply can't believe it. You're not going to cry.
Yes, I am. I am. It's so perfect. Oh, darling. You don't know what it means. It's been almost 3 years now. 3 years without peace of mind. 3 years of being afraid. Now to have you. To know you're safe. For these few days at least, to know you're safe. Oh, for the first time I dare to be happy. I'm going to be very happy these few days. I'm going to hoard up every moment.
I know. As though it had to last us for the rest of our lives. I've dreamed of this 100 times.
Tackle the champagne, will you, darling?
With enthusiasm. You know, I think it's grand that you and Mother hit it off so well. Does Nanny bully you?
Does she? To hear her, you think I was doing it just to be contrary. Because I'm an American.
Doing what?
Well, I should say not doing it.
Not doing what?
Well...
Sue, you're blushing.
You look a little pink yourself.
Well, I know Nanny, and it'd be just like her confounded nerve to... Hang it, it wouldn't have anything to do with young Percy, would it?
John. Percy.
The eldest son is always called Percy, dear.
Not my eldest.
Our eldest.
But I don't like the name Percy.
Well, I don't care very much for it myself, but the eldest son is always called Percy.
Why?
Well, it's a family tradition.
But I'd want him called John, after you.
It's very sweet of you, darling. But the eldest is always
called Percy.
The eldest is always called Percy, dear.
Of course, I don't ask to call him Hiram after my father. I want
How
him
is your father? What do you hear from him?
You wouldn't be changing the subject, would you?
Oh, Father's all right. Cocksure as ever. Want some bread?
The paper doing all right?
Quite.
What's he say about things over here?
Father says Germany better stop pushing our ships around or she's going to get into trouble with the tell of a son.
Getting his dander up, eh?
Oh, John, I want America to come in. I want it terribly. I pray for it every night. I want this war to end, and they can help so much to end it. I want you home again.
Darling.
Father says I want to plunge the whole United States into war just to save one Englishman.
Sounds a bit drastic, doesn't it? Champagne for you, my girl.
Right.
Here's to peace, Dunne.
How lucky we are. Bright sun in the day, such a perfect night.
How fast the days come. I want to hang on to the hours a bit.
Only 4 days and one gone already.
Where's that music coming from?
I don't know. It's just right, isn't it?
Perfect.
We heard the sea murmur. We saw the full moon wane, knowing that our happiness might never come again. I, not forgetting till death do us part, was outrageously happy with death in my heart.
What are you thinking of?
Of us.
Homeowners, stop painting your house and throw your paintbrushes away. Every time you go up a ladder, say to yourself, is this trip necessary? Let us come out and show you the latest in beautiful aluminum and vinyl siding, and at the same time, on the same bill, you can include replacement windows, gutters, doors, porches, and awnings. Call us now, and we'll end your paint blahs forever. The number, Tyler 87100, and say, bye-bye, paintbrush. Who needs it?
Lasky Furniture reduces everything. Yes, everything. It's the incredible double bonus holiday sale. Bonus number 1, all brand name furniture at huge holiday markdowns, including great red tag clearance items. Save half. Bonus number 2, no down payment on anything you buy. It's the biggest money-saving holiday sale anywhere. Lasky's double bonus. Half price savings and no money down. Hurry to Lasky Furniture, Detroit, Warren, Livonia, Taylor, and Northwest.
Hello, I'm Jack Tennis, owner and operator of Multi-State Transmission in Clawson. Through these doors pass the most important people in the world, my customers. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have a business. Your satisfaction is assured by a competent staff of technicians. Our rigid quality controls ensures all work is right the first time. When you have a transmission or driveline problem, let us help you. I'm sure you'll be satisfied you have my word on it.
Multi-State Transmissions in Clawson, 435-2162.
I'm Mike Lyons, inviting you to come back to America's colorful past with a trip to Henry Ford Museum and Greenfield Village. Relive the evolution of the automobile. Experience the excitement of discovery in Thomas Edison's Menlo Park, the site of such innovations as the incandescent light and the phonograph. Or get involved in special educational events such as the Old Car Festival and Farm Days Festival. It's all waiting for you and your family at Henry Ford Museum and Greenfield Village.
Oh, c'est certain qu'il ne revient pas. Monsieur, regardez-la moi s'il ne revient pas. Dommage de faire sa vie comme ça. Chut, elle revient.
Monsieur left his pipe.
Oh, what a pity. We were rather rushed at the last.
And the train was perhaps late after all.
No, indeed. The train was very punctual. When it came in, I waited for him nearly an hour, but this morning the train went out right on time.
And Madame boat leave tonight?
This evening. It's a long wait.
Madame is sad. But these were good days. Monsieur was so gay. He laughed so much.
They were wonderful days. I shall remember them all my life.
And he will come again. Can I do anything for Madame?
Oh, thank you.
Madame has not noticed that Monsieur left a note on the mantelpiece.
Le Congrès des États-Unis a déclaré la guerre à nos ennemis. Notre pays est maintenant notre glorieux.
What is it? What is it?
Vive les États-Unis!
What's happening?
Qu'est-ce que vous en dites? Votre pays a déclaré la guerre. C'est la fin, c'est la victoire. Ah, Dieu de ma vie.
For heaven's sake, speak English. I don't understand a word.
C'est vrai, pardon, madame, j'oublie qu'il y avait des nouvelles pareilles. America has declared war. C'est officiel. It's official, madame. America has declared war.
There you are, none too soon. Come in, come in.
Time we've had. The train was late. How are you? You're looking well.
Well, where's my young friend? You haven't come alone?
Certainly not. Here he is.
Ah, Nanny.
John Ashwood, Esquire.
So that's John's boy, eh?
And mine, Colonel.
He's a fine lad. Oh, and he looks like John. You know, Mrs. Bland, if it hadn't been for me, I'd have a bit of a share in this young fellow. You know, you've got things pretty fine.
Oh, you've no idea the crowds in the street. The cab simply crawled. We had to fight our way across the curb.
They nearly tore the child from my arms.
They're coming! They're coming! They're coming! Mrs. Banks, they're coming! The Yanks are coming! Listen. They are coming. Oh, my, I could say it with excitement.
No point in that.
But I've waited so long for this, to see them myself. Listen to that music. Oh, it's so American, that song. So gay and aggressive and boastful. There they come. Nanny! Nanny!
Give in to me. Oh, be careful, milady.
Look, young man, look. Your mother's people. See how well they march. Your mother's people. And yours, too.
because you're half a Yankee, you little Englishman. I'm never going to let you forget it. Wave your hand, Johnny. Wave your hand. This is your first glimpse of history. Oh, look, darling. They're right underneath. Look how beautiful they are. They'll help bring us peace, darling. They'll bring Daddy home to us. Home to see his son.
I want you to send these to your father.
The Chapman.
I thought it might give him some pleasure to return them to the White House. It's a small return for what they've sent to us, but it'll please the pig-headed old mule anyway.
Is that the Manor House? Who's speaking?
Can't hear you. There's an infernal racket here.
Oh, Nanny.
Nanny, have you heard the news? Oh, you have. Pity. I thought I'd be the first to tell you. Ah, Mistress. Wonderful. Peace again. You should hear the bells. The town's gone mad. And you can't blame them. She must be delighted, eh? Let me speak to her. Lady Ashwood. What? I can't hear you. Speak up. Huh? John? Dead. Killed in action. Oh, no. Poor souls.
I do not remember the words that they said. Killed, Douay, November. I knew John was dead. All done and over that day long ago. The white cliffs of Dover. Little did I know.
Sue, I brought you a little broth. You must take something. Please, dear. You can't go on like this. You make me very anxious. I've left you alone all day. Won't you make an effort? Susan, you're showing no courage. One has to go on. You're not alone, you know. You're one of thousands. It's my loss, too. You have your son. And when he grows older, you'll know just how much that means. I knew John as a little boy. I watched him grow up. He was part of my life from the hour he was born, of my hopes and dreams. I've died a little with each of them. Sue, darling. You must face it. Think of him. You're shutting him out. Oh, darling. Can't you cry a little for John? Because he's dead so young. He'll never come home, although peace has come. He'll never see his little boy.
Well, here's the young gentleman to say goodnight to his mammy. And a very sleepy young gentleman it is. He didn't sleep so well after his 4 o'clock bottle. I think that tooth's worrying him a wee bit. But he's such a good baby. Aren't you the best baby in all the world? Well, now, come now. Say good night to your mammy, and off we go to the sand. There we are. Oh, look at the fat legs of him. I declare I never saw a baby grow so fast. Why, that little blue coat you bought from in August is too short in the sleeves already. And strong. Feel the strength of him.
Yes, he's fine and strong, my baby. He'll grow up tall and straight. He'll go into the army. The eldest son always goes into the army. It's family tradition.
So, dear.
Tradition to die young in a country not your own.
Please, darling.
For honor and glory. No, I haven't any glory now, have I? They took that, too. They took it all away from me. They took... He'll live out his life. I'll teach him to do that. I'll teach him to run and hide when the drums start playing. I'll take care of him. I'll keep him safe. I don't care how. I'll keep him safe. You understand?
Oh, no, milady,
he's
don't.
mine. He belongs to me. They shan't have him. They shan't take him because he's young and strong and kill him. Never, never, never.
Darling, please. You're frightening the baby. You don't know what you're saying. We have peace. John died for that. We've learned a dreadful lesson. We know now what war means. We're all losers. We've all suffered so much that good must come of it. Your boy will grow up in a new world. There'll be no shadow of war over his youth. John gave his life for that. You must believe that, darling. It wasn't a vain sacrifice. John gave his life so that his son should live.
One of the most satisfying purchase decisions of our lives. So say thousands of customers of the Charles Kent Reaver Company. The reason? You learn all about diamonds before you buy. You save up to a true 40% at Michigan's only diamond cutting facility. From our experienced jewelers, you can select custom-styled mountings or a pre-styled design. Michigan's most complete source for diamonds. For your appointment or the Reaver Company's free brochure of diamond facts, just dial Diamond, D-I-A-M-O-N-D.
The McDowell home in Southfield is 128 years old. What a challenge. First, insulated backer, then Belvedere double-4 aluminum siding. And here's the finished job. Before, after.
Miss McDonald, how do you like your job now?
It's beautiful.
If we can do this to a home 128 years old, can you imagine what we can do to your home? Call now. Tyler, 87100.
Call Great Lakes Reupholstery at 961-3310 for the best reupholstery prices in town. Just listen to this. Sofas from $279. That's right, $279. Chairs from $179. Kitchen and dining room chairs from $29.95. Great Lakes Reupholstery also has a special 10% discount for senior citizens. Call 961-3310. That's right, 961-3310 for the best reupholstery prices in town.
Hi, Bruce Kirk. Since 1950, the Muscular Dystrophy Association has been helping thousands of MD patients come back through hope and determination. You know, most of us take for granted simple tasks like walking and running, but for someone with muscular dystrophy, those so-called simple tasks are only dreams. The Muscular Dystrophy Association works tirelessly to combat neuromuscular disease through research, education, and patient services. But it needs your support to help those dreams come true and give MD patients the comeback spirit.
But the years pass and the heart mends, and life takes up its quiet labor. The bee returns to the meadow clover, and the tree grows as the child grows. I saw his father over and over. His face looked out of my son's face. His father's smile, his father's pose. I watched him with his boyhood friends. I watched him with his friends and neighbors.
Good day, Betsy.
Good day, Sir John.
I was just looking at your roof.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Well, as long as I'm here, I think I'll take a look round.
Very good idea, Sir John.
Well, that's quite all right, Mrs. Kenny. We can't have the rain coming in, can we?
No, that we can't. But I'm sorry it had to be done now, with times as they are. Ben was saying it's worse for you than 'tis for us.
Well, we are a bit hard up. Income tax, you know. 6 shillings in the pound, and next year they say it's going to be worse. But it's improving our economic structure. We've had to sell quite a bit of land, and my grandmother doesn't like that very much.
And how is it, poor ladyship?
Oh, Franny's a little bit better, thank you. Well, I think I'd better go now. I've got 2 or 3 things to do. Goodbye, Mrs. Kenny.
Goodbye, Sir John.
Goodbye, Betsy. Goodbye. Goodbye, Betsy.
Goodbye, Sir John.
Mother, I stopped in at the Kennys today about the roof, you know.
Did you, darling? And how's Betsy?
Oh, all right, I expect. Mother, I promised the Trotters a new fence.
Oh, John, dear, you must be more careful about promising things. We can't even afford to mend our own fences.
I know, Mother. I explained to them about the taxes. But, you know, somehow their cow got into the Petty's backyard. Upset the beehive and got terribly badly stung. Wouldn't give milk for days, and you know, they've just got a new baby.
Sir John, come here. Do you mind? You're deucedly important this afternoon, Sir John.
Yes, sir.
Yes, a real high-tone member of the Stranded Gentry, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes, your great-great-grandfather on your mother's side kept a little dry goods store in Tulliver. Did you know that?
Yes. Did you sleep well last night, sir?
Did you?
Well, not at first, sir. You see, somebody placed a very cold frog in my bed.
John!
Well, now, that's a strange coincidence. Somebody sewed up the legs of my pajamas and put a hairbrush in the pillow.
Yes, sir. I did, sir. It's known as an apple pie bed, sir. It's a custom in English schools. And I know that you're always so interested in our English customs, sir.
You rascal!
Oh, Father, it's no wonder Nanny scolds you. Fix your hair, Johnny.
Mother, can I go down and see what Bridget has for tea?
Why, you want something special?
Well, yes. You see, Mother, I've invited those 2 German boys that are staying with old Lady Birthday.
Oh, yes, rustle up some crumpets. Fine little limey. Germans, eh?
Darling, this is nice. Are you sure you should risk it?
Yes, it's a bit crisp today.
Of course it is, but it's no use arguing with her. She always thinks she knows best.
I heard we had some young guests, so I couldn't resist the temptation.
These are John's friends, Gerhard von Bisterberg and his brother Dietrich.
How do you do? How do you do? Are you the sons of the Baron von Bisterberg who was secretary of the German embassy some years ago?
No, Lady Jean. The embassy councillors of the Linden Bisterbergs. We are the Oak Bisterbergs. We have an oak leaf in our coat of arms.
We have a unicorn in ours. What do you have in yours, Grandfather?
A pipe, a smelly old tobacco pipe, and maybe a deck of cards.
I could suggest a proper animal for your coat of arms, Hiram.
Yes?
A mule.
A mule? Why not? It's not an aristocratic animal, but it knows its way around, and it packs a healthy wallop in its hind legs. Very useful qualities, my dear Jean.
Perhaps you're right, Hiram. Anyhow, unicorns are out of date nowadays.
Nothing is out of date when one loves it.
Thank you, Hiram. Are you enjoying your stay in England, Herr von Bisterberg? What is it you enjoy most here?
Well, that's hard to say, Lady Jean. We've not seen much of London, but here in the country I admire most the beautiful lawns one finds round almost every manor house. Your lawn is one of the most perfect.
It would make an excellent landing field.
I suppose it needs centuries of tending.
Landing field, Dietrich, for what?
For troops. They could easily land in gliders on this lawn.
Oh, you mean airborne troops could land here during maneuvers?
During maneuvers, of course, sir.
Yes, of course.
Boys of Dietrich's age learn about planes and gliders in their youth organizations. So, of course, they think of nothing but landing fields and such things.
All we learn in school is Latin and Greek. I wish they'd teach us something about planes.
Well, it's only natural that Gerhard and Dietrich should be interested in military matters. When I traveled in Germany, I drove by the Beesterberg armament plants. Very impressive, too. Took me almost an hour to pass them. All the chimneys were smoking. Of course, they weren't making arms. That was prohibited by the peace terms.
Exactly. Under existing restrictions, the Beesterberg plants produce nothing but kitchen utensils, perambulators, gramophones, agricultural implements, cameras, and so on.
Don't forget the vacuum cleaners, Gerhard. When Father gave us the list, he told us especially not to forget the vacuum cleaners.
Vacuum cleaners and perambulators. A smiling country given to ways of peace. Babies and cleanliness. I like that. That makes me very happy. Yes, they've learned their lesson. Germany has learned her lesson. A beaten country...
I beg your pardon, sir.
Yes, Gerhard?
Germany was never beaten. We never accepted the peace, and we never shall. The war was not fought to a finish. The next time we shall not be cheated of victory. We shall be proud and happy to die on the field of honor. Es gibt kein schimpflich und tot als im bequemen Bett.
Yes, well, if you boys are going to play tennis, you'd better get going.
Yes, sir. Come, Dietrich. Lady Jean, Lady Ashford. I did not mean to offend you. You understand,
That's all right, my boy. Go and have a good time.
Mother, do you want me to play with them?
Yes, John. They're your guests.
Out of the mouths of babes.
That was rather frightening, wasn't it? Oh, here's Nanny. I think perhaps I'll rest a little.
Mother, don't you feel well?
No, nothing. It's nothing, dear. I'm all right. I'm a little tired.
Indeed you are. I said to be too much for you coming downstairs, but nobody ever listens to me. It was a strange outbreak, Father, wasn't it?
No. Susan, I know that as long as Jean is here, you'd never leave, and I wouldn't want you to. But someday I'd like to think that you'd come back home to me and bring the boy.
Why, Father? What are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking that we might lose him. Same way we lost his father. Oh, it isn't only what these boys said. I've felt it for a long while. I can tell you honestly, Susan, there's another war in the making. It may come in 5 years, it may come in 10. But it's as inevitable as death.
Master John. Johnny. Wake up, Master John.
Nanny. Nanny, it's still dark.
Yes, I know it. It's 2 in the morning. Your Granny's asking for you.
Granny?
She's had a bad spell. She's very weak.
Is the doctor here?
He's on his way.
Nanny? Is she very ill?
She is that. She's going, laddie. But you mustn't cry. You must be very brave and strong. You promise me? Are you ready, Johnny?
Yes, Nanny.
Ah, that's here, my lady.
Thank you, Vincent.
Where's Grandfather?
We're saying goodbye to Nanny.
May I help?
Oh, is the car here? I'm ready. My, this seems a great big empty place now that she's gone. God bless her. Never thought I'd miss her so much. Well, think of what I said about coming home, Susan.
Car's here, Grandfather. Everything's stowed.
Oh, that's fine. Well, you're not going to like this, young fella, but I'm going to give you one big hug. You tell your mother to bring you to America, and I'll make you sports editor of the Tulliver Sun.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm afraid I couldn't do that. I have to go into my father's regiment. The eldest son always goes in the army, you know.
Yes, well, if you change your mind, you just let me know.
Yes, sir.
Well, goodbye, Susie. I'll be waiting for a letter from you.
Goodbye. Take care of yourself.
Yes, Susie.
And now, if you don't mind, I'd like to do the driving.
May I remind you, sir, that in England, one drives on the left side of the road.
I know. Darn foolishness. See you soon.
Is he coming back soon?
No, he meant... I'll tell you later what he meant.
Sir John!
Morning, Sir John.
Good morning, Sir John. Good morning. I've come to say goodbye. We're sailing tomorrow, you know.
Aye, so we've heard.
It'd be true, then. I wouldn't believe it till I heard it from your own lips.
Ben was saying you'd never leave England.
You see, my mother's American, and, well, it's only natural that she'd want to live in her own country.
We'll be a-missing you, Sir John. We'll all be a-missing you. You know, Sir John, us Kennys have rented this farm from your family for nigh on 200 years.
Well, Adam Steele's going to be my land agent, and he's a good man.
He'll be a good man, Sir John, but it ain't the same.
No, it's not the same.
Well, I'll say goodbye. Goodbye, Mrs. Kenny.
Goodbye, Sir John.
Goodbye, Mr. Kenny.
Goodbye, Sir John.
Goodbye, Betsy. Goodbye. Betsy, it's for you. What is it? It's a ring. I made it out of a horseshoe nail of midget's. You can have it. A horseshoe nail? It's for good luck. Oh. Goodbye.
Goodbye, John. Thank you for the ring.
Will you like it, Nanny, living with your sister?
I'll get used to it.
Is she nice?
I hardly know. I've lived in this house for 50 years. Been home and family to me. I've forgotten my own. Master Johnny, look away. Gracious me. There. Now I'm ready. You're awfully like your father at the same age, Master Johnny. You'll be the living image of him when you grow up. Well, I'll be off. Daddy, will you say goodbye to me here and let me go alone? I've sent that lazy Jenny for my things. I'm afraid I'll break down like an old fool. And I'm not let Uncle Irene into the kitchen see me with tears in my eyes. My Johnny, don't you forget. I
I won't forget, Manny. Goodbye.
Indeed, if I had my life to live over again, it's not a child's nest I'd be, giving my heart to other people's children and old and lonely. Potatoes are fun.
Do you need a car? Really need a car? The Auto Loan Broker can help. Call 1-976-CARS. We guarantee to find you auto financing regardless of your credit history. For your convenience, our fee will appear as a $35 phone charge, but we offer a $35 rebate with the purchase of your dream car. Just call 1-976-CARS. If you've got bad credit, slow credit, or no credit, pick up the phone. 48-hour results and guaranteed financing. Call 1-976-CARS now.
Homeowners, stop painting your house and throw your paintbrushes away. Every time you go up a ladder, say to yourself, is this trip necessary? Let us come out and show you the latest in beautiful aluminum and vinyl siding, and at the same time, on the same bill, you can include replacement windows, gutters, doors, porches, and awnings. Call us now, and we'll end your paint blahs forever. The number, Tyler 87100, and say, bye-bye paintbrush. Who needs it?
Lasky Furniture reduces everything. Yes, everything. It's the incredible double bonus holiday sale. Bonus number 1, all brand name furniture at huge holiday markdowns, including great red tag clearance items. Save half. Bonus number 2, no down payment on anything you buy. It's the biggest money-saving holiday sale anywhere. Lasky's double bonus. Half price savings and no money down. Hurry to Lasky Furniture, Detroit, Warren, Livonia, Taylor, and Northwest.
What spans 126 miles, affecting 1.5 million people in 50 Metro Detroit communities? The Rouge River. Hi, I'm David Rogers. TV2 is proud to sponsor Rouge Rescue 89. On Saturday, June 3rd, we'll be cleaning at 24 sites, stretching from Birmingham to Canton to Melvindale. With everyone's help, we'll continue to reduce the threat of flooding and pave the way for major renovation. Call 42 Rouge for details. TV2 and Friends of the Rouge are anxious to help this valuable resource make a comeback.
And now, the dramatic conclusion of The White Cliffs of Dover, starring Van Johnson and Irene Dunne.
Aren't you thrilled going on a big boat for the first time? Oh, it'll be wonderful. Did I tell your grandfather was going to meet us in New York? I expect he's terribly excited about it. I know I am. Are you, Mother? Ooh. After all, that's my home, you know. I can hardly wait to show you the sights. You're going to love it, darling.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be very nice. Mother, if that man buys the manor, do you think he'll be good to the tenants?
I don't know why not.
Granny said that the tenants depended on the manor. She said it was my duty to watch over them in return for the privilege of owning land.
I don't say that's wrong, darling, but we look at things a little differently at home.
At home, Mother?
In America, I mean. You see, we think a man ought to start from the beginning, that he ought to make his own way in the world.
Yes, but supposing he has something else to do first.
What do you mean, dear?
Well, I mean, supposing he's been left something to do, as I was.
As you were?
Yes, I mean the way Father left me you and the place to look after.
Oh. Well, I don't know, Johnny.
Well, wouldn't a chap want to do it just the same if he were an American?
I guess he would.
That's all I mean. It isn't so very different over there than it is here, is it? You just try and do the thing that's there for you to do.
Johnny, don't you want to go to America?
Oh, yes, Mother. If you do.
No, tell me the truth. What are you thinking of sitting there so serious? I wouldn't for the world force you to do something you thought was wrong. But I do wish you could see it my way, darling. I want it so much.
Why, Mother?
Because I'm afraid. I'm afraid of what's ahead. I'm afraid of another war. Your father died when he was young. He died for England, Johnny. But you're half American. You're my son. You belong to America, too, not only England.
Mother, is that why we're running away?
Running away?
Mother, if there were a war, I'd want to fight for England. You wouldn't want me to be a coward, would you?
No, Johnny.
Mother,
Yes.
do you think Father would like me to run away?
No, Johnny. I don't.
Mother.
You darn little Englishman. You're just like your father. You've beaten me, between the two of you.
Mother, do you mind very much?
Of course I mind. When I see that boat go out, playing the Star-Spangled Banner. No, that's not sporting of me. I'll stay, Johnny, and like it. Whatever happens, we'll face it together. Your American mother can take it, too.
You bet she can.
Years ago, your father met me on Southampton Station. I wanted to go home then. But your father took me by the arm, talking the most dreadful nonsense. Led me up a flight of steps, over a bridge, across the tracks, down the steps that led to the London train. I guess you can find a way.
Mother.
Yes, John.
You're the best mother a chap ever had.
Thank you, John. So we went home again. My English son did all those things that all his sires had done. No one had taught him, yet he knew his part. The land itself was teacher to his heart. He watched his fields, he kept his father's place. A friendly boy with England in his face. And often when he walked across our hill, Betsy went walking too, as children will, to gather flowers with her homework done. And so they walked together in the sun. If they were more than friends, I never knew. For a new spirit shaped him as he grew. There was a different England in the air. I liked the girl. They made a handsome pair. And so I watched them and was reconciled. He was my son as well as England's child. Eton, then Sandhurst, and of course at last his father's regiment. The die was cast. And then to see in anguish and in doubt the lights of Europe falter and go out, and once again the feet of marching men drum in the dust and darkness, once again. Rumors of battles, headlines in the street, Holland and France, the desperate retreats. Our days were busy with 1,000 cares. Our nights were dark and quiet with our prayers. He came from somewhere in the west that day, heading for Dover and the waiting ships. So little time with silence on his lips. I did not see my son as he went through. I thought him far away, but Betsy knew.
Have you called your mother?
No, I thought I wouldn't somehow.
Johnny, have we much time?
Not much, Betsy?
Big show?
The old horseshoe ring.
It brought me luck, Johnny. But now
Do you remember when we were kids? I used to ride round and see you on my pony.
all you ever said was, "How's the roof, Mrs. Kenny?"
I suppose I did have it on my mind, rather. It seemed to need such a lot of mending. How is it now? Fallen in again?
I'm afraid so. Oh, Johnny.
Steady. Steady.
And so they parted, each to his command. The ring, she said, and placed it in his hand, and watched him go, then turned to find her train. She was not there when John came home again.
One moment.
come in?
Word's just come in. The ambulances are leaving the station.
Thank you, Margaret. I'll be right down.
Ward 4. Ward 2.
John.
This is an emergency. Blood is coming through the bandage. Call the doctor's attention to it.
Yes, ma'am.
Ward 3. How long?
Perhaps 6 hours. Hello. You asleep?
How do you feel?
Not bad at all, Mother. Did you guess I was in the show? Worry.
What do you think?
I guess we're lucky. You know, Mother, I wasn't afraid, really.
I know.
That bird.
What do you?
The bird kept going round and round.
Where?
There was a little bandstand. At first, it seemed like any other misty morning in summer. Quiet, and the air smelled sweet. Suddenly, everything broke loose. The Canadians fought their way ashore. We were among them. I don't remember how I got there, but I was in a shell hole with a Canadian and an American. The Canadian was dead. The American boy was wounded pretty badly. Only his eyes seemed to be alive. We lay there with the shells screaming over our heads, watching that bird spinning insanely over what used to be that gay little bandstand. Mother, do you know, dear?
Yes, I was there once with your father.
You remember that bandstand?
Yes. I remember it very well.
Hello, what's this?
Little nourishment. There's a parade coming past the hospital in a little while. Some of those new American units, they tell me, along with our own boys.
Would you wheel me to the window when they come?
Of course.
Don't try to talk, darling.
That chap. That American. He said he'd really start to fight the day war ended. For a good peace. said that God would never forgive us, neither England nor America, if we break the faith with our dead again. Write his mother a nice letter. Tell her that, oh, well, you'll think of something. I say, wouldn't you be busy somewhere? I'm all right, you know, really.
I know you are. But you must rest now.
In a minute. Good night, Mother. Thanks.
Good night, my darling boy. And God bless you.
You too, Mother. Here, Mother. They're coming. Some of your Americans.
Yes, darling. I saw them when they came 25 years ago. So did you. You were 3 months old. I held you in my arms and we saw them together.
Now we can see them again. Tell me how they look, Mother. Tell me how they march.
John, I see them. Your people and my people. Only their uniforms are different. How well they march, John. How well they march together.
Tell me more, Mother.
There's a look of greatness about them. All the strong young boys, beautiful and proud with dreams. Just like you, John. They'll help bring peace again. And as your friend said, a peace that will stick. You know, John, we must never forget what that American boy said to you. God will never forgive us if we break faith with our dead again.
We hope you've enjoyed our TV2 Sunday night movie presentation. Next, it's World War II action under the deadly sun.
Beginning tonight on Mystery.